think being a creative in 2018 is crazy hard. Not necessarily because creating things is difficult, but because we are constantly comparing ourselves to the whole world of media, because there's so much out there in terms of YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo, whatever you're looking at for inspiration or for entertainment. I think it's really hard to be true to yourself and to just create things when you're comparing yourself to so much out there. And let me show you what I mean. I think it's a lot easier to put yourself behind a desk like this, to hide, than it is to be honest about how much you still have to learn. What I mean is, it's easy to put yourself behind a desk with a PowerPoint presentation or something behind you, to have these bullet point lists of the 5 camera hacks or whatever. It's really easy to teach, to preach, to separate yourself from your journey. That's kind of weird to say, but I feel like a lot of people, when they get started in YouTube, they want to be like these experts. They want to be like a famous YouTuber just instantly. And I think that you get this kind of this facade of perfection that people try to put on. They try to act like they don't have a tuft of hair sticking out of the top of their head, or they don't have a little pimple on their face, or they don't have a little bit of stubble on their chin. Like, they try to act as perfect as possible. And I know I'm totally a victim of this. I know I will hem and haw over the fact that my skin looks really dry today, I'm not going to make a video, or I haven't cut my hair, I'm not going to make a video. Whatever. It's really easy to do that. And it's also really easy to use that as a way to prevent yourself from creating, as an excuse to not create. And I think part of that's because as consumers of media, we see these people who have perfection. They have a set, they have equipment behind them, they have nice lights, they have red cameras or what have you. It's really easy to get caught up in all that. And there's definitely people who it's okay for them to do that. I recently had one of my photos featured on a photography live show.
Ooh, look at all these bubbles. Okay.
That is super cool.
That
I'm
is
giving
very
this a
cool.
pick. It's just a cool picture.
The people who run that show, it's totally okay for them to have a PowerPoint running behind them, a computer in front of them, a desk between them and their audience, because they are an expert. They have years of experience, they've written books, they can teach, they can preach to the camera because they've earned that spot. But I think unless you're in that position, it's much, much better for you to be honest about who you are. And for me, that means being honest about the fact that I may know more than some people do about photography or cinematography, but I still see YouTube videos of people teaching tricks that blow my mind. And because of that, I know I have so far to go, and everyone always has a lot to learn. But I think for me, it's more valuable to show that I'm learning and I have a journey than it is for me to try to hide and pretend that I'm an authority figure. And because of that, I'd rather remove this table, this surface between you and me, and have a one-sided conversation just with my desk behind me, because that's more natural. That's how I actually am. That's my environment. It's not a set. It's not something staged with lights and a background. It's actually how I am 90% of the time when I'm working. I'm at that desk, and I'm just going to turn around and have a conversation with you. I think the best approach to all of this is just to be true to yourself, A, and B, to just create things flat out. Just not stress about the small stuff. It doesn't matter if you film a whole video and it's a hair out of focus, because honestly, nobody cares. You care, obviously, but most of the people who are going to watch your video are going to watch it amongst hundreds of other videos, and they're not really going to care. They're probably not going to like your video. They're probably not going to subscribe. They're probably not going to comment. That's the truth of the matter. But if you don't create that thing in the first place, that person's never even going to see it. Maybe next time one of your videos comes up in their subscription, maybe next time one of your photos comes by in their Instagram, then they'll double tap or they'll like or they'll subscribe or what have you. But the biggest thing about being a creative in 2018 is that quantity actually matters more than quality. YouTube's algorithms are totally in favor of people who post every day. It's ridiculous because that means that people's content has decreased in quality. But I think that that's okay because it's going to favor people who are growing as creatives, because the only way that you can grow is by creating more and more and more and learning from those experiences. You have to fail a few times before you can really succeed. And I've created some work this year that I'm really proud of. I've created one of my favorite video projects of all time that I've made. I've created some of my favorite small short things. I've created some of my favorite photo works. I've created some of my favorite graphics. I've designed one of my favorite websites being my own website, because I almost every year I redo it, sometimes multiple times a year, because I'm always growing in terms of my aesthetic, in terms of my talent, in terms of the things that I know how to do and the things that I want to do. And because of that, I think the best way to be a creative in 2018 is just to create things. They don't have to be particularly good. I'm not saying just create a ton of horrible images, just take pictures of a wall that's not interesting. I'm saying just create more things that you're drawn to, that are interesting to you, because that's what I'm going to do in 2018. My goal is to take a new photo in a new location, go somewhere that I wouldn't normally go and take a photo there. And it's also to make a video every single week. I want to try to, by the end of every 7-day week, starting on a Monday, ending on a Sunday, I want to have created something. And I've been hemming and hawing over this video. I talked about how easy it is to get wrapped up in the concept of something isn't good enough, so you're not going to create it. And I totally have done that. I sat in this chair like 20 times, 20 plus times over the past week or so. And I had the idea for this video months ago. But just like when I decided I was going to make a video explaining Red cameras like a year ago, MKBHD came out with a video a week into that project, and so I abandoned it because I was like, my video will never be as good as his. And I did the same thing for the past, I don't know, like a week. I was just 2018 started and everyone under the sun was releasing I'm going to do this in 2018, and people are talking about getting 1 million subscribers, or posting a video every single day, or filming, videos on 8K cameras, and posting in 8K. I'm like, I can't do any of that just because I'm not in that position yet. That doesn't mean I won't be someday, but I can't hold myself to the same standard as the people I look up to, because they're humans too, and they had to start somewhere. And so I'm just going to create, and I think that's what you should do too. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it. So if you did, go ahead, like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you liked what I had to say and you thought it was inspiring or what have you, let me know. And if not, also let me know.